This week's Parsha is Parshas Acharei Kedoshim. And the beginning of the Parsha, Pasuk says, Acharei Shnei b'nei Aaron, after Nadav and Avihu died, Moshe tells Aaron, Al yovei b'chol eisel HaKodesh. Don't just walk in any time to the Kodesh HaKadoshim. It's not proper. Only on Yom Kippur, once a year, is the Kohen Gadol allowed to go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. And ask the Shem Shmuel, what's the connection? What does the fact that Aaron HaKohen's two children died have to do with the fact that Aaron can't go into the Kedosh Kedoshim except once a year? It says the Shem Shmuel, Nadav and Avihu died as a result of their intentions to bring down Hashem's love, milamala. They wanted to be ma'orer Hashem's love. How? Their intention in bringing that Eish Zara, in bringing that carbon that they weren't commanded to do, was in order to show Hashem how much their ratzon was, how much they love Hashem, so much so that they're willing to die for it. And they knew that they were going to die. They knew they weren't going to be able to handle the amount and the level of kedusha that would come down and destroy their bodies and take their neshamas up to Shemayim. They knew it, but they did it anyway. Why? Because they were trying to show Hashem that we don't care if we die. We love you so much, Hashem, we're willing to die for your sake. Because we know that Hashem works midah keneged midah. Kamayim panim el panim. Hashem would respond with such love for Klal Yisrael, because you're willing to die, al kiddush, or not al kiddush Hashem, but with such love and such ratzon and such emotions for me. They felt that Hashem would respond in kind out of love for Klal Yisrael, because they were His children. Even though we may not be worthy of His love, but yet, because it's beyond seichel, it's beyond anything the brain can comprehend, that a person would be willing for his body, his soul to leave his body out of love for Hashem. No one could comprehend that. So too Hashem would bring down His love beyond anyone's wildest imagination. However, says the same Shem Shmuel, Nadav and Avihu were mistaken. They erred in the fact that it wasn't proper to bring down Hashem's love that way. Because Hashem's love, so much shefa could come down that it's not just the koyach HaKedusha that will enter their bodies, but also the koyach HaTumah. Whenever there's the HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, zeh l'umah zeh, there's two parts to everything. And the forces of evil are always wherever the forces of good are. Wherever you find Kedusha, you're always going to find forces of Tumah, because they latch on, they're parasites. They need to take Torah and Tefillah and bring it down. That's the way the Sitra Achra works. So since they wanted to bring down Hashem's love at the time of this Hakamas HaMishkan, which is a time of great Kedusha and celebration, but however the forces of evil weren't dismantled yet, they weren't torn apart yet. So it was not proper for the time for them to do that, or to bring down Hashem's love that way. That's the reason why Hashem says to Moshe, tell Aaron, Al yovei b'chol eisel HaKodesh. Don't just go in any time to the Kodesh Kedoshim. First you have to dismantle the koyach hara, the koyach hatumah. By Yom Kippur, we're fasting, we're doing tshuva, we're saying vidoy. Once we get rid of all these forces of evil, that's when you can go into the Kedosh Kedoshim and do the avodah and create that kedusha, that pnimius, that love, and that connection between a father and a son of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael. And that's why we say in Shabbos davening, we use a lashon of ratzon, how much we love Him and how much we want Him. Why do we say it on Shabbos? Because Shabbos is a special time where we say in Kegavna, all the forces of evil, they're gone. Shabbos is a holy time that all the forces of evil are gone. And that's when we show our love for Hashem. We want our menucha with you, Hashem. May we be zeiche that all the forces of evil should be gone forever. And be zeiche to the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu. Have a beautiful Shabbos.